the magic manipulation minutes. Okay, because sometimes timing won't work as you want it does. Like, of course, it cannot be every single day that they have like a London inducement, New York reversal, whatever, New York trap time, London close mitigation. Of course, they need to switch things up because they think we kind of retarded, right? And they think like, oh yeah, but if we do it on different times, then it's a whole different thing, right? So guess what? It's possible that they didn't grab enough liquidity the first time with their perfect ideal time zones. And in this case, they will come back with their initial inducement to induce the inducement. And you're like this, like, huh? What? Induce the inducement? What's going on? Don't worry, it will make sense in just a minute. So yeah, if you don't call me crazy already, then again, this is where the stuff will just get ridiculous. It will go so crazy and you will think that's impossible that it can be like that. But as you will see, like in a very short time, it's just insane. And they make it sometimes so obvious that you actually be like that guy, like, what? What? Are you serious? And you will not believe that it's actually possible. But anyway, so what is the magic manipulation minutes? Magic manipulation happens after the London Open inducement, okay? Or they can create the inducement itself. This can be at 12:30, or again UTC plus 2, and 12:30, also UTC plus 2. Okay, and remember, again, you're better than a clock. If it doesn't happen to the exact minute, it's of course about the intentions, and that's just orientations for you to help you to see the complete insanity later. Okay, so always use that as a confluence and to know exactly what you look for. And always analyze the behavior and identify whenever or not they want to come back towards that areas or not. But again, just by this magic manipulation minutes, you will freak out, okay? So just know this, it's 10:30 and 12:30. Because again, they think people are kind of retarded and they will not figure that stuff out. But yeah, we just call it the magic manipulation minutes because that's when they're literally manipulating price on purpose because they, UTC plus 2. UTC plus 2, yeah. So 9:30 and 11:30 UK, exactly. Right? Because again, they need to manipulate sometimes if they haven't achieved their initial goal, which is inducing everyone on the wrong side. So that's why they literally have minutes when they do that. And they do it at 12:30 and 12:30. 10:30 and 12:30, right? So how does it look like? So what's going on in here, right? So we have like obviously our London inducement, right? Obviously we have a mitigation of the inducement, but now there you go. The interesting thing is now usually it should go higher, 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 but for some reason it did not, right? It will be hard to be tracked at the beginning, but obviously not important right now. We will dig into it later, right? And also this is like an anti-confluence later. So what they're going to do is inducing these lows in order to even get everyone on the wrong side, an inducement of the inducement. But where does this final manipulation stop? It stops at 12:25. So 5 minutes before the magic manipulation minutes. So what's going on? They mitigate that areas later and push price higher. So this is when the London Open inducement fails. For some reason, they're failing to create the initial liquidity grabs. So they're faking even more, and stopping at magic manipulation minutes. Okay, anyway, so here we go. So London Open makes a trap. Awesome, we like that. Awesome sounds obvious. But guess what? What are they doing in here already? For some reason, they're forming these equal highs above here. And that's where you should be like, okay, there went something wrong. There went something wrong. So what's going on? They're faking the pullback, right? So what's going to happen? They're inducing the inducement. And when do they do it? What in the hell? 10:30 to the absolute minute. And what's going to happen? It's the same thing all over again. They chup everyone. So what is going on in here when you see this one? What is this? Everyone should know that by now. What is this? Smart money trap. Exactly. What's the difference here? What's literally the difference then if this is London Open, but now it becomes equal highs, and that's just the inducement, and it just happens again to the minute. Like, what? This happened to the minute, but then failed after because it becomes equal lows. Equal highs. Now it's the same thing all over again. Equal highs being induced at the perfect timing again. Like, what in the hell? What? Then again, we have a smart money trap. Again, what is that? Quadruple bottom, whatever. Right? Craziness. So what do we expect? What do we expect just by the understanding of that? A tube in here. What is going on? We're having this equal lows being grabbed. Also this one. So you see we're having two liquidity grabs inside one. Then equal lows, inducement, equal lows, inducement into one. When does it happen? What? New York Open this time? Oh, that was a zone as well. But what should that be? A trap move? Okay. So what are they going to do? Inducing that for whatever, inducing that thing in here. Right? Or again, mitigating the inducement. Right? So trap move, lower. Becomes the inducement, double inducement. Equal lows in here. Inducement. Equal lows in here. Inducement. Lower build-up. Inducement. When does this happen? The mitigation now of the inducement of the inducement. What? To the minute? Are you kidding me? What? It can't be that obvious, can it? Like what? Like what in the hell? What is even going on here? We're just combining freaking time. It happens to the minutes. Like look at that. They need to be freaking us out. To the absolute minute. To the absolute minute. To the absolute minute. And to the absolute minute. Like what in the hell? And it all makes even sense with our original plays. What in the hell? So in other words, it's just like magic. Can't be real, right? It needs to be a coincidence. Anyway, so let's take in more examples. What's going on here? So the magic minute as a guide, use it at a timing with your understanding again of the overall things we give you. Just don't use it at the timing by itself. Use it as confluences, right? So what's going on here? Magic manipulation minutes, right? So what do we have to the left on the higher time frames, whatever? Maybe we have a minor inducement at this. Again, minor inducement because it's an inducement of Asia range, right? But then again, major inducement to the left, maybe. Of course, we need to dig into it more. And Alex, and obviously we cover the higher time frame stuff and combining everything with the bigger picture later. But for now, again, remember the intraday play of what is going on. Magic manipulation minutes to the downside, chooping everything after the whole cycle has been done. And then again, what is going on here? Internal break of structures. That's the mitigation in here, of course, and it just choops everyone. Becomes smart money trap in here, becomes smart money trap in here. Just obviously, that's the first vector candle to induce everyone and momentum build after that. Okay? So again, what is going on here? London Open to the minute. Create the channel. Now failed because this thing in here failed to grab the liquidity to the left, whatever. So what do? Then they take the magic manipulation minutes to induce the inducement. 5 minutes short of it. Okay. So what happens next? Chooping everyone. What's going on here? Mitigation of the inducement. And then you're trading the order flow. Okay, so that hard and you're aiming for Asia range. It's like clockwork. So what is going on in here? London Open makes obviously what? The trap move to the false side. So what is going on after next? So what should happen here? What should happen here next? With the vector candles out of Asia breakout, with the timing, what should happen next? Anyway, so what's going on here? Inducement of Frankfurt Open this time. What does the inducement get mitigated? After what? Minor inducement. This is obviously the mitigation of it. That's the internal break of structure. Mitigates this inducement in here. Obviously breaks out of Asia as clockwork. That's now the other trap move of the other directional after building the whole uptrend. When does it happen? London open. So guess what? They chup it until when? Until when do they chup it? Until magic manipulation minutes to the minute. Okay, what the hell? And then they're reversing it, creating imbalances in the process and mitigate it later. Like, what in the hell? What? And then again, what is that? London close. Of course, it reverses. It's like literally like clockwork. It's so obvious. It's sometimes really crazy. Again, minor inducement creates the imbalances. The Frankfurt Open this time gets mitigated. Asia range being induced, becoming a minor inducement. You expect Asia range being closed upwards. London opens, makes the other push obviously after the whole information gets passed over them. Everyone is buying. They're inducing low now, ending at the magic manipulation minutes, creating an imbalance. Clockwork. Clockwork. Right? So what's going on here? London close, forms mitigation. They want to go home. When do they do it? 5 o'clock, mitigating their position out of the inducement. Guess what price is gonna do? What in the hell? What? It's literally like magic again. Like, how can this even be true? How can they be so stupid? Okay, so anyway, what is going on here? Alright, so again, what are you going to do? First of all, London open, did nothing, did not induce anything. So guess what? We're still in the Asia range. You have not an inducement anywhere. So when are they going to induce? Magic manipulation minutes. Okay. Right. So when do they make the whole push? Huh? Okay. Until when? New York trap time to the minute. Right. Or not really. 50-minute short. Okay. Pardon. Right. And what is the next thing they do? London people want to go home. Smart money trap or becomes the FFS. This is the added zone in here. The imbalances. They mitigate their positions and go home. Price can reverse. What in the hell? Another one. What are you going to do here? Again, building the huge uptrend, inducing these minor areas in here, staying short of this mitigation area. Right? So what is going on? Staying short of it. When do they mitigate it? Magic manipulation minutes and then push lower. Or again, maybe it only happens like 15 years ago. So let's look at another example of literally Friday. Okay. So what is going on here? London inducement high, building the channel, building this flag in here, whatever, building this channel, inducing Asia highs. When do they do it? London open. So I don't know. It can be again Chi or maybe something like that. Right? Or maybe Chi. I don't know. It's literally just look at Friday, a few pairs, one of those. Okay. Then again, what should happen here? Please, everyone. There you go. So what's the next thing after the tube? Internal break of structure. What are you going to do? You mark out your imbalance from the inducement. They mitigate it. Interesting. Then they chup it. Then should be some sort of reversal thing. Magic manipulation minutes. Okay, then you train the order flow. Right. When is this going to happen? Right. M1, you train the order flow. Order flow. Again, when is the next management movement happens? 12:30. Makes another manipulation move to mitigate their messed up orders in here. Creating these imbalances, right? Again, there you go. They manipulate the price upwards to make, again, price fairly delivered. They're using the magic manipulations for that to mitigating their positions. Guess what? Creating the equal lows. So what do we expect after? False inducement high. When is this the case? New York open makes a false push. Building the channel. Until when? Again, to the minute. So what's going on? Making the tube. Making the pullback. And then again, London closes. That purple line is literally London close. When do they, what do you need to do? Mitigating the positions. They don't mitigate all the way down there. Sometimes they mitigate the 50%. Which is literally exactly here. So they're mitigating 50% of it. And obviously they go home, and this happens after. There's your inducement. Price is going. Obviously the day comes to an end. They made the inducement to do what? Go lower and end the day like this. How they manage the trades? Of course, we will show you how to manage those trades. But it's obviously the most insane stuff. They literally do it on the time, to the minutes. It's just following their intentions and then looking at your clock to utilize everything together. So anyway, so let's look at a really fucked up day to see if this even makes sense just looking at a clock. We look at this little shit in here, and if you think now whatever, anything will help you, like any retail stuff or even structure whatsoever, let's see if you can make a sense out of there. Probably not. But what can help us will be timing. So we just include the Asia range. Makes things prettier. And now, because we need to look to the left a little bit, we saw a mitigation zone to the left. Again, we show that stuff to you on day 3 of how to do that properly. But for now, just know this is a mitigation zone that kind of missed by a little bit. But when does this happen? London open. Okay, so what does London open do after the breakout of Asia range, creating this whole channel? Of course, giving a reaction. Right, now this can be a valid zone in here as we never mitigated here, but again, more to that on day 3. More is about timing right now. So they're giving the false reaction again until what? They can now finally, the wick closes in here. Finally, we're tapping in this demand area in here, right? When do they do that? Magic manipulation minutes. Okay. So what's the next push they do? They're going in here, right? Again, mitigating their inducement. When do they do it? To the minute. Again, on magic manipulation minutes. Again. So we have perfect London open trap. Perfect magic manipulation minute 1. Perfect manipulation minute 2. Okay. So what's going to happen next? There you go. London and New York open. Right. So what should they do? Obviously, they're making their trap move lower. Opening up the position, trading away from the proper mitigation, right? And of course, wanted to push price higher now. So what should they usually do? They're taking out these zones. No, they did not. Look at that. They're creating equal highs. Look at the time. Should be New York trap time. Is that a trap? Of course, they're building up equal highs. To do what later? Give the false reaction. Moving downwards. So guess what should happen? Inducement of this equal highs just by a pip though. Inducement is inducement though. Then they push price lower. Then London closes, mitigates these positions in here, and then price can reverse. The day is over. So out of a sudden we made off the most insane mess of all just by utilizing the time. Literally every timing aspect in here had perfect sense, didn't it? First London open trap, then finally the perfect mitigation when magic manipulation minutes, then in mitigating this inducement with another magic manipulation minutes, New York open made their false trap move to the downside, pushing price higher. New York trap time creates a trap to the minute, inducement after, pushing price lower, creating these structures in here. London closes, mitigates in here, and pushes the price higher. Crazy. Like magic. Anyways, so now more examples, because again, we want to give some even more because it's so rare does it happen, right? Again, what do we have? Build up of London, false side. London opens in here, messes around a little bit. So of course, after the inducement in here, what should happen? Price push higher, making this smart money traps in here of FFSs. When does it do it? Magic manipulation minutes. That's expected, is it? Because again, it's a manipulation. So the next magic manipulation minutes, what will they do here? Of course, they're mitigating the mess they created inside here to push price even lower, making now this inducement of the inducement. When do they do it? New York open, price pushes higher. Now finally taking out Asia highs, making the push in here. What is going on here? Now New York trap time. What should they do after the inducement? Mitigating it, push price lower. London closes. They say, thank you for that day. They want to go home, exit their position, so price can move higher. Clockwork. 30 clockwork. All right, another one. What's going on here? Making obviously higher highs. In here, we're not interested in any areas of there. Until when? Until we hit the significant spot to the left. Of course, more about that in the next 3 days. But guess when they mitigate these zones? Magic manipulation minutes. Making now internal break of structures. So we're finding our mitigation zone after the inducement, after the magic manipulation minutes. Getting the mitigation. Obviously getting the reaction out of it. Now we're having break of structures. In here also. So guess what? We're taking the mitigation again. Trading the order flow type of thing after the inducement of the timing confirmed magic manipulation minutes. There we go. Another magic manipulation minutes where they do the mitigation. When do they do it? I mean, you can't see it, but you can see here's the 12, here's the 13:30. So obviously that's 12:30 in here. To the minute. Right? Guess what? Get the mitigation. Pushes price lower. Of course, takes out Asia low. Are we done yet? I don't know. So what is going on here? We're looking at our clock, literally to the minute almost, right? Making these mitigations in here at New York trap time. What is going on now? There you go. We now finally can mitigating the inducement in here to push price higher like clockwork. It's insane. It's the moment you see it, it's just crazy.